Sweet Jesus Navas, it is time for another transfer review, Pato. Are you as excited as I am?
And not about your blasphemy, mate. Disgusting.
Dad's a vicar, what can you say? Let's talk transfer madness. Our first serving is Real Madrid to poach Bayern's Boateng. That comes from Kicker.
Yes, indeed it does. They reckon that with Pepe due to be out of contract in the summer and Nacho kind of decent but not spectacular, they think that Zinedine Zidane might make a €40 million bid for Jérôme Boateng of Bayern Munich. Now that figure sounds incredibly low to me, but let's treat it as if it's plausible. Would he make sense for Los Blancos as a signing? Well, he's played just 820 league minutes this season. In fact, in the last 2 seasons, he's played fewer minutes than Nacho has played in this one campaign. This is not necessarily a great sign in a star transfer, but he is obviously very talented. 70% of his aerial duels he wins, puts up solid defensive numbers, 2.8 tackles plus interceptions per game. So when he's on the field, he's very useful.
He's a baller. Yes, and his real talent is passing, Pato. He's got an 86% pass ac over the last 2 years. And considering some of the audacious passes he tries, he actually tries 13.5 long balls a game, completing 8.5 of them. That is hugely impressive. That also helps him to create 0.6 chances a game.
From centre back.
Which is massive for a centre back. Absolutely massive. And yeah, but at 28 with his injury problems, is he a sensible signing? Methinks not. They've already got one talented, injury-prone centre-back in Rafa Varane, haven't they? He's probably worth persisting with as well because he looks like he has some future ahead of him if he can shake off those injuries. So I can't see this one happening, big man.
No.
I reckon you're in the same ballpark. Let's start transfer review with a big fat "this isn't happening." Move on. The next transfer we are putting under the microscope here at EFD is Kelechi Iheanacho to Dortmund. This one is in the Daily Mail, not the Daily Star, because that's just tits and teeth. And they reckon he's available for a snippet at £20 million.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Because I know you're a huge fan of the Nigerian.
I am a big fan of him. And look, Man City, they've got Gabriel Jesus, they've got Raheem Sterling, they've got Leroy Sané, even though I accidentally wrote Kingsley Coman down here. And so it looks like they've got their front line of the future kind of sorted. There seems to be little space left for Iheanacho, but he's only 20 years old. And at £20 million, that's very low for a forward who has this level of upside. You know, you buy him for that money. If he doesn't pan out, you could probably get most of it back. If he does pan out, you might have a world star on your hands. In the last 2 seasons, he's played 1,342 minutes. That's not a lot, but in that time, he scored 12 goals and assisted another 4. I mean, that's crazy high. So his conversion rate is at about 24% at the moment, and that's really high. And contrary to what, you know, the Mirror or like ESPN would have you think, just a high conversion rate isn't always a good thing, because sometimes it means you're going to stop scoring. Just everything you've hit has gone in. In this case, you'd expect it to come down because Sergio Aguero, who we think of as a pretty good finisher, has a conversion rate of 14%. And Iheanacho is just 10% ahead of that, so he's in orbit. But anyway, the shot numbers are great, so you would expect that he'll carry on scoring at a good rate. 3.7 shots per 90, and 3 of those come from inside the box. So he's adept at receiving the ball in decent areas and making chances for himself. It's really interesting, actually.
Like you said, that is a really small sample, isn't it? But there is proof there that he could definitely excel if given the time. I mean, he's left-footed, which already gives him a natural advantage. He's 6'1", he's tall, he's quick, and Vodka is bracing himself, as we say, for Aubameyang's departure. Now, what better way to spend 20 million than someone who's shown they can cut it at Premier League level? So it makes a lot of sense, but rumour has it that Hoffenheim may be in for him as well. Obviously, they're secure Champions League football as well this season. So they could be strong contenders for his signature. It might be a more realistic destination for him should Aubameyang stay. But he certainly fits Nagelsmann's profile as well, doesn't he, for young, hungry players. Obviously, they're losing a couple of big stars in the likes of Nicolas Sula. Demirbey's not off, is he?
Well, we don't know yet. Liverpool have been linked with him.
Interesting. Demirbey, quality player. But where should he go? Let's poll it. Should Kelly Iheanacho go to Dortmund or Hoffenheim or Celtic?
Or Arsenal. Our next transfer concerns another exciting young striker. It's Michy Batshuayi, who might be leaving Chelsea for one of Monaco, exciting, Marseille, West Ham, oh God. Which one would it be? What say you, Chris Hamill?
I mean, West Ham tried to sign him last summer, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, They'll probably give up and re-sign Carlton Cole. I'm not sure.
They were just chucking money at anything.
They will sign anyone who has got 2 legs. Anyway, yeah, Marseille and Monaco are apparently interested in the striker as well. He cost 33 million last summer, but has played just 127 Premier League minutes.
Poor. Bad.
Very poor.
What's that, like 250k an appearance?
I mean, that's just come in the last week as well, when he scored against West Brom and he scored against Watford. Didn't score the goal that clinched Chelsea the title though. I was glad for him. He's clearly a nice guy. He's got a good sense of humour. Funny Twitter account, but you need a good sense of humour to play only 127 Premier League minutes across the course of a season. He's scored 2 goals and he's got an assist in that time. He's also scored 2 goals in the FA Cup and 2 in the League Cup. So when he's given the chance, he's done all right, has old Michi. And Diego Costa's apparent departure to China for big money, Pato, could see him either promoted to the first team or playing second fiddle to the likes of Morata or Romelu Lukaku, should they spend the money on either one of those absolute bangers. I personally would like to see Lukaku go to United and Morata go to Chelsea. I'd like both to be in the Premier League. What about you?
I would not like that to happen. But I think, I mean, on the one hand, Chelsea could keep him because next season they'll have Champions League football as well, so they will have more minutes to go round. They'll be able to play him. But if somebody comes in with a decent offer for him, then you would have thought that they'd be willing to sell. They could have played him more than they have this season. But any of the 3 sides we've mentioned could do with him. Let's look at his numbers at Marseille, because this season obviously he hasn't played enough to really get a handle on his performance. At Marseille, he bagged 17 goals and 9 assists. That was at 22 years old. He took 2.8 shots inside the area per game. That's actually very similar to Radamel Falcao this season with 2.7 per game. He could also beat his man around once a match with 60% success rate. And so let's compare him to Falcao, seeing as Monaco are probably the most likely destination for this player.
Beats his man.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Lost it.
He's also a decent dribbler. He can get past his marker once a game with about 60% success rate, which is a good talent in a striker. And let's compare him a little bit more closely to Falcao, seeing as you'd have thought Monaco would be the most attractive destination for Batshuayi. He has had a great season at Monaco, but he's 31. He, of course, had that ACL injury a couple of years ago. And actually at West Ham as well, not a single West Ham player has managed more than 2 shots from inside the box per game. Michi's immediately going to improve that. He's going to get those chances in the most dangerous area on the pitch. That's exactly what you want. If he were to leave Chelsea after a season though, it does look a little bit desperate, and as a result you'd expect that Chelsea would have to give any buying club a significant discount. So if you could get him for £30 million or under, he'd be a fantastic signing. Now, if Conte wants to keep him, I'm not sure why he hasn't given him more minutes. So I would have thought that he might be off. And if I were Monaco, I would 100% be interested. If I were West Ham, I'd take anything I could get. Garbage club. Moving from West London to North London, we get a rumour from The Guardian. Apparently Tottenham and Arsenal are going to go up against one another for Nice's Jean-Michel Seri this summer. Chris.
Oh yeah.
Wagwan.
Well, PSG and Barcelona. Oh God, we're so white. Concentrate. PSG and Barcelona have also looked at the talented, dynamic, attacking midfielder. He's 25, he's Ivorian. In the very limited time that I've seen him play, he's played in a more advanced role rather than being a classic central midfielder, which I think his stats reflect. He's scored 6 and he's assisted 9 in 31 games this season. He makes 2 key passes a game as well, so he creates a lot of shot opportunities for his teammates. But his defensive stats are pretty poor, meaning that he'd probably have to be partnered with someone quite combative. Maybe the likes of Coquelin, you know, maybe a Kante, he could be partnered with literally anyone. But yes, he takes under 1 shot a match as well, so those scoring figures might come down. And he only makes 1.5 tackles and interceptions a game, which goes back to what I was saying previous. Not really someone who's going to track back, make tackles, contribute to all-round play. He likes to be in that final third. Could you see him in North London?
It doesn't really make sense for me at Arsenal. Like he's not somebody who'll beat defenders on a dribble, which is kind of what Arsenal need. Like, stop it. You're an idiot. Not really at Arsenal. I don't think he makes sense. Like, he's not somebody you could pair alongside Xhaka, who's going to be able to dribble through a midfield, break the press. I don't really get it there. I mean, for Spurs, maybe as a backup to Eriksen. Like, with Lamela out this season, Eriksen has had to be pretty much the sole creative hub of that Spurs side. Yeah. And so Seri, I suppose, could be a decent rotation option for him. But he said he'll only leave Nice for first-team football, and Spurs clearly aren't going to offer him that. His buyout clause is 40 million euros, that's 33 million pounds. But Nice would apparently consider bids of around 20 million pounds, which is a little bit more appealing, but still quite a lot for a squad player.
Now, Spurs haven't conducted great business in the French transfer market of late, haven't they? And Kudu.
Yeah, I mean, Spurs haven't done that much great transfer business, except for the odd bit that they've absolutely smashed out the park.
Yeah.
Like getting someone like Dele Alli right or Christian Eriksen right, we forget that around those transfers, there's a huge amount of dross as well. When Eriksen arrived, that was the summer that we saw Paulinho, Soldado, all these people that felt a bit sorry.
Well, that was the
Chiriquez, Fazio, the Bale money.
Summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then Ali, obviously an incredible steal at 5 million, but then since then, like you say, Nkudu, Moussa Sissoko, I mean, these are not good signings.
No.
And anyway, I think that this one might be best avoided. His production looks good this season, but as Chris has said, with those shot numbers, I don't think it's going to stay at this incredibly high rate for long. I think he's best off staying in France. This one's a no from us.
Hold the phone, Pato.
No.
It's time for the transfer shocker.
Yay.
Say hello to Andre Ayew. He sponsors it. Anyway, this one comes from Sky and The Independent. Apparently, Atletico Madrid want Leicester's... Atletico Madrid, apparently they want Jamie Vardy from the deposed Premier League champions Leicester City. Now, in the article that I haven't read and you've broken down for me,
giving you two bullet points.
Yeah, apparently Simeone wants to freshen up his attack with Jamie Vardy, a 30-year-old whose pace will inevitably decline. I mean, the more interesting question is how would he do in La Liga? Because he's not great against a sitting defence, but La Liga a bit more expansive. You know, if someone said this, you know, Jamie Vardy's with Serie A team, I'd be like, no way, that's mental. But to a La Liga team, might get 15 goals. What do you think?
I mean, maybe if he goes to the conference. But look, Atleti already have some fast attackers. They have Kevin Gamero, who's actually quite similar to Vardy. Very, very fast, but more technically able. Yannick Ferreira Carrasco, who's also really quick and a far superior player to Vardy. Vardy got a new contract last summer when they were trying to ward off interest from Arsenal. They gave him 100k a week. So are Atleti really going to match that? I don't really think so. We don't even know if Simeone's staying. We don't even know if Atleti can sign players this summer because they're still waiting on the outcome of their appeal over their transfer ban with the Court of Arbitration for Sport. So this is all bullshit. This is bullshit a mile deep. Jamie Vardy, you're not going to Atleti. You're going to prison.
That was this week's throbbing, pulsating, heart-wrenching episode of Transfer Review. Pato, what should these fine people do next? And God bless them if they're still here at this point.
They should stay right here on Eurofootball Daily and check out Stat Wars from the weekend. It's a very exciting one. It's a tense one this week.
It's good. It's good. I mean, ultimately, you win. There you go. There's the conclusion. You don't need to watch it.
Well, you don't need to watch any of the episodes. Let's be real.
But, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to more premium content.
Bye. Vintage outro.
I'm having a meltdown. I don't know what to talk about.
What are you going on about? Just talk about what's on the sheet, you mental. Fucking.